You know, I find it incredible that he's over here so critical of Kanye West, right? About, oh, he beats his wife, whatever. Meanwhile, you're walking around with a war criminal that's killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people, bombed them indiscriminately, etc. I find it very interesting. People like you are the problem.
Let's watch this, because this is so profound. The unholy Shmoley, with his own tongue, actually shot himself in the foot.
أشهد أن لا
إله
إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه الغر الميامين. يقول ربنا جل وعلا في محكم الكتاب: وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: المؤمن تحت ظل صدقته يوم القيامة. إخواني وأخواتي، هذه مائدة دعوة في قلب لندن في ليستر سكوير. نرجو منكم المساعدة حتى يتم إيصال الدعوة إلى أكبر فريق من الناس، فلا تحتقروا ما تدفعون. والله إن الجنيه الواحد لا يساعد كثيرا. ونريد أن نبشركم على أن قبل أسبوعين أسلم على يدينا 7 أشخاص، وقبل أسبوع شخصين. فلا تحقروا ما تعطون من الصدقات. بارك الله فيكم وأصلحكم الله وجزاكم الله خيرا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Don't worry, I got injured a bit, tripped up and banged my head on the baby's cot. But alhamdulillah, I'm good. It's not a cut, it's not split open, but I'm good, alhamdulillah guys, don't worry. My wife sorted it out, alhamdulillah, as you can see, with these, whatever they are. Anyways, let's get to something a bit more important, guys. Yeah, okay, focus in the message, not on that. So, we're going to be reacting to Piers Morgan talking about Kanye West and the stuff that he said, and we're going to be hearing Meyron, we're going to be hearing the unholy Shmoley, and a few others, inshallah. And there's things that I caught on. I was listening carefully, and I was like, it's just, you know, every accusation is a confession, like Sneeko told me once, and you are going to hear this, guys. You're not going to believe your ears when you hear this stuff, yeah? And again, this was news to me. I didn't know about what Kanye said about, you know, the Jews and etc. And this is hate speech, and we're against hate speech to any kind of race, religion, whoever they are. This is abhorrent. This is disgusting to put a group of people, no matter what's going on in Israel. We're not going to come and put every single Jew in the same category. That's the same thing that's been done to Muslims. Let's get straight into it. Let's watch this, because this is so profound. The unholy Shmoley, with his own tongue, actually shot himself in the foot. But we're going to come to that later. Let's watch it, inshallah, and talk about freedom of speech, uncensored. So there's a lot of things that's been spoken about here. Let's get into it straight, inshallah.
People got suspended, a lot of it for harassment, hateful conduct and so on. So I think there's literally no dispute or doubt that he did. So the question remains, why was he then not suspended but able to leave voluntarily? But the wider debate that I think you and I were having was about freedom of speech and where that begins and ends. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you seem to be suggesting that you don't think there is an end. In other words, you can say absolutely anything you want, to which I would say, well, I don't think you should be able to say to 32 million people on a platform that you want to make Jewish people your slaves and whip them. Do you?
Okay, interesting. So from this moment, it's very interesting. Well, do you guys not believe in absolute freedom of speech? This is where we, as Muslims, when we point this hypocrisy out, because as Muslims, we have one rule. It doesn't change, it doesn't fluctuate as based on our means and desires. We have one specific rules. You don't, as capitalist Westerners, yes, liberals, you don't have this. So now, Mr. Freedom of Speech, Piers Morgan, has boundaries. Yes, and again, I've always said there is not absolute freedom of speech. You know, I'm against hate speech. You know, but anyways, let's carry on. Let's see what Meyron had to say.
Well, I think the thing is, when Elon took over X, he wanted to mirror it with the First Amendment. And the First Amendment allows a broad range of speech to be allowed. And the reality is, if we don't have free speech, we don't have a democracy. And that's literally from Elon Musk himself. Now, we want to talk about unequal punishment on X, you know, based on some people saying this and getting punished and people saying this and not getting punished. That's a whole other conversation. But I think if you're going to mirror the First Amendment with Twitter, then you need to allow that speech in.
Right, but look, on the first point about X's rules, he clearly transgressed pretty much every rule they have. I think that's unarguable. So it's for Elon to explain why, in the end, he was only censored, which he was, because he posted legal pornography. It seems to me extraordinary that legal pornography is deemed to be more offensive and more worthy of censorship than saying that you should make Jews your slaves and whip them.
So yeah, I mean, if you look at Elon Musk, again, you know, somebody who is going out there and outright talking about doing this to Jews and do that to Jews, etc., you don't censor him, you don't stop him. But the moment he posts nudity, that's where you draw the line. That's what we mean by subjective morality. Who decides what? When it's not from the divine, it's I pick and choose. And that's what Elon Musk is doing. I mean, Elon Musk, the one who is an ambassador to Israel now, it's all of a sudden now allowing Kanye West to spew all that nonsense and hatred, which it's absolutely catastrophic. It's disgusting. But the moment he Nudity? No. Okay.
By the constant tirade of blatantly anti-Semitic garbage that was being spewed by Kanye West. How are you feeling?
First of all, you're an honorary Jew because you've really supported Israel through this war, and we're grateful, Pierce. Tolerating the intolerable is the liberalism of fools. You can speak about being a free speech absolutist, but there must be three exceptions: incitement to violence, commission of violence, and admission of violence.
Incitement, admission, and he mentioned another thing. Let's stick that very carefully, because now he is putting himself in deep waters, because so he's basically saying somebody who condones or calls towards violence. Okay, let's see if Rabbi Shmuley, unholy Shmuley, has done that. Let's listen carefully, listen very carefully.
So what's missing from this discussion is not that Kanye said that Jews should be whipped, it's that Kanye said that he has beaten women, and he said that women should be slapped, and his wife is in an abusive relationship, and Bianca Sensori's family, who live in Melbourne, Australia, have done nothing to rescue her. Are we talking about whether there should be pornography on X? There was pornography at the Grammys. Professional lip readers had him tell his wife, Bianca Sensori, take your mink coat off, and she is totally glassy-eyed. There is no free agency. She is an abused wife. She's an abused woman. How is the media becoming complicit in the absolute degradation and humiliation of this woman?
Okay, interesting. So, unholy Shmuley cares about women. All women? He's generally talking about all women. Okay. And what about the Palestinian women? What about the Palestinian women who are hostages in Israel? Those hostages, they were hostages as well. They're not present as hostages, yeah? Being raped, yes? That your country is honoring these individuals who've been doing that. Not only raping men and not women, also men. What about that? You moron, you unholy Shmuley, what about that? Oh no, you wouldn't, would you? Because now you are indirectly condoning violence, like you said. Yes? You are undoubtedly condoning violence, but it's okay when you do it. Let's carry on.
Bring you back in, because yesterday when you were getting into it with me about what you perceive to be censorship, you said, why the fuck are you calling for censorship when you have a show called Uncensored? The hypocrisy is incredible. But I was calling for a censorship of blatant, threatening violence in the language, abuse of Jewish people and of women, including trying to market a T-shirt based around an incident of criminal domestic abuse. Surely you would agree with that censorship, wouldn't you?
No, I don't believe in censorship. I think, context matters, and it's very obvious that, he's doing this as a marketing plug. I mean, look, we're talking about it right now, so he's done a fantastic job. He had a commercial with the Super Bowl. He's the talk of the town right now. He's basically stolen the attention from Kendrick Lamar. Some people here are trying to say that Kendrick is more relevant than Kanye when it comes to hip-hop, but he's stolen the attention how? From really smart marketing. Now, with that said, I don't think anyone's ability to speak should ever be censored. Now, do I like everything that he says? No, but I'm going to fight for his ability to say it. I also think it's important to note that sarcasm and humor and making jokes is a part of what he was saying. Is he really going to run around and slap women? No. Obviously, he's being sarcastic, he's being funny, he's being edgy. And I think that's important because we need people like that pushing the envelope so we can protect free speech.
But he was literally trying to sell a T-shirt which had imagery of his friend Diddy, his new friend apparently, because they fell out, his friend Diddy involved in a criminal act of abuse against a woman. Literally, that's what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's America.
Well, hang on one sec. Just to be clear, though, Myron. Just to be clear, Myron, you think that was acceptable?
Again, capitalism is capitalism. Do I agree with it? Do I like it? Maybe not. However, I will support his ability to do it because he's obviously marketing things. He thinks maybe he has some dark humor that he wants to do where he thought that was funny. But the reality is that this is America and capitalism is a thing here.
So when Elon Musk... hang on one second. I'll come to all of you. So just to be clear, Myron, when Elon Musk replied yesterday to someone on X and said that he was now being censored for the legal pornography that he was posting, did you agree with that?
Well, I don't like pornography, but again, it is legal. There's a 3-part test in America with the Miller test to see if it suffices. And, you can make the argument that, it didn't cause any issues as far as...
So Elon was wrong to censor him?
With pornography?
Yes.
Well, again, I don't like porn. I don't think it should be on X at all, personally.
Okay, so you agree with censorship?
For pornography.
Right, but let's be clear, you agree with censorship?
No, I agree with pornography not being on X. I think it needs to be contained in a certain way.
Well, here I have to be honest and be like, well, hold on a second now. This is what we mean by capitalism, talking about capitalism. And this is the reason why many people lost their lives because of Boeing. Boeing was rushing production because they were in competition with Airbus. And because of that, they were trying to get their shareholders to have the maximum amount of profits. They rushed it so much that they had a failure in manufacturing these planes that had a faulty thing which caused the plane to dive down or something like that, which caused 2 or 3 of these the aeroplanes to crash because of capitalism, because it's all about profit. They don't care about human life. And here you can see 2 people, one's talking about uncensored, he's censoring people. The other one saying nothing should be censored, then he's saying no, pornography should be censored. I agree with him, pornography should be censored. But now you're saying you're an advocate for censorship. You haven't got Piers Morgan for censoring people. He's a hypocrite as well. But then yourself, you're saying that pornography should be censored. This is what happens when you don't have objective morality. But let's carry on, because my main thing here is catching out unholy Shmoley. Look what he says. We're going to come to it, inshallah.
I also like Elon Musk, and I'm very grateful to him for having gone to Israel right after the October 7th attacks, being escorted by the Prime Minister of Israel himself, Benjamin Netanyahu, to see the women that were raped, that were beheaded, families that were burnt alive. I was there 1 week after the attacks as well. But I also agree with you that this is absolutely unacceptable. I saw your tweet, Pierce, and that's why I wanted to come on the show. You know, Zubi, and wait just a second. Zubi and Myron, you seem like very decent guys. Wait,
Myron, you can respond to it when he's finished talking.
Let me speak. I believe, respectfully, that this interview will live in shame for the two of you for the duration of your careers.
My friend, it's going to be in shame for you, not just them, whatever you want to accuse them of. Also you double-standard hypocrite. You double-standard hypocrite. Carry on, watch what he says, guys. Just watch what he says.
You, Myron, that he was joking when he said he beats up women? Ha, I beat my wife, Bianca, and that's funny? What is funny about beating up a woman? What is funny about threatening violence against a people who in the lifetime of my mother were gassed at a rate of 10,000 a day and turned into ash? This interview, respectfully, will be on your highlight career, living in infamy.
What's funny about Palestinians who are being massacred in the thousands, 45, 50,000 plus people massacred? What's funny about that? Your nation, your people are laughing, mocking, saying that if we could have a button to erase Gaza, we would do it. And you yourself have condoned that violence. How? We're going to catch you very shortly now. Watch very carefully, guys, because he slips up so badly. Look what he repeats in history, and he does exactly the damn same thing. Watch carefully.
It is not funny to murder 1.5 million children. It is not funny to rampage through the Jewish community surrounding Gaza, beheading Jews and non-Jews, including Thai workers with spades. I saw their beheaded bodies. For God's sake, there's real consequences to this hate. There used to be an alliance between the black and Jewish communities, knowing that we were hated for no reason other than the fact that we were different.
So Myron, your response to Rabbi Shmuley?
Yeah, again, I find it incredible that he's over here so critical of Kanye West, right? About, oh, he beats his wife, whatever. Meanwhile, you're walking around with a war criminal that's killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people, bombed them indiscriminately, etc. I find it very interesting that you're so hardcore on Twitter about some tweets that may or may not have been a joke, more than likely a joke. Anyone that has common sense, sarcasm, dark humor, etc. Versus you're running around with someone that's literally a war criminal wanted by the ICC that's killed tens of thousands of innocent children, right? And then you're over here calling for censorship. I'm tired of anti-Semitism. I'm tired of racism. People like you are the fucking problem, because here's the thing. Americans are tired of censorship. We're tired of being browbeat into being virtue signaling losers like you.
I could not say better. I'm so sorry with this. You are basically selective outrage. Selective outrage. Oh, women's rights. Oh, this. How can I do that? Da-da-da. But the same thing when it comes to the Palestinians. What do? You do the same thing, if not similar to Kanye West. Yeah, tell me I'm wrong.
And try to raise people and say, oh, you go ahead and you provoke problems with people. I've literally seen you do this. You go up to people, you provoke them, and they tell you fuck off, and then you get mad and you yell anti-Semitism. Quite literally, what I want to hear is this. Rabbi Shmuley, until you can actually call people liars for what they say, no one cares about anti-Semitism anymore. You guys run around, use it for everything. We're tired of it. Stop trying to browbeat us and virtue signal, saying, oh, that's anti-Semitic. How about this? When you can call someone a liar for what they're saying, then we'll start taking you more seriously. Other than that, you're a fucking dildo rabbi.
All right.
There you go. What could you say to that? They have destroyed anti-Semitism is a real thing, and we are against anyone that's anti-Semitic. But the Zionists have been the biggest anti-Semites. The biggest anti-Semite. They go against Jews who speak the truth. So you, my friend, are the biggest anti-Semite yourself. But anyways.
Jim Crow and segregation outlived slavery. You had white racists, especially the Klan, who basically told white men that these black men wanted to defile your women. The Germans said the same thing about Jewish men in Germany. Now, that's one of the things that people feel most strongly about. I have to protect my women. I have to protect my wife. Then we saw lynchings. Choke No Joke made a very good point. We saw all these lynchings. Those lynchings were a direct reaction to, look at Emmett Till. Emmett Till was 14 years old. Arguably the most famous lynching in American history. They cut off his penis and put it into his mouth. We now have his coffin at the Smithsonian National Black History Museum because they said that he whistled at a white woman. Even a 14-year-old boy wanted to rape a black woman. Now, was that incitement to violence? Of course it was. The Klan is all about incitement to violence. When the Klan says that the black man by voting is going to take over the entire South and take your women and take your jobs, that is incitement to violence. That's why, Zuby, with all due respect, you're just being too general. You're not giving any strict categories here.
Okay, listen carefully now. He's saying that in history there was a young black boy, for that matter, who was accused of whistling towards a white girl. And what did the KKK and those who were white supremacists done? They lynched him, they killed him, they cut his private parts off and put it in his mouth. So he's saying that when people want to do acts of violence, they do it indirectly by using women. You know, this is what they've done to our women, to our kids, because men in their nature, they are protective against their women folk. That's within our nature. So usually people who want to commit acts of violence to others, they usually do what? Use lies to propagate a specific thing so people can get angry. Because when it comes to women and kids, like we know the whole situation when it comes to the grooming, etc., the accusations against specific minorities that are doing that, etc. Wow, we have pedophiles on a rampant, white, middle-aged pedophiles on a madness. Nobody's linking an eye, yeah? Okay, because it's their own doing it. So he's saying that people do that. There's truth to that. And that is true, and that happened in history. But he missed something else. He and Israel and Zionists do exactly the same thing. Listen to this carefully.
So the moment you start saying that Netanyahu is Hitler, that is where Kanye West begins to win. Churchill is Hitler, and Netanyahu is Hitler, and now we can no longer distinguish between good and evil, between free societies fighting to stop the gang rape of women and the beheading of children versus Hamas, who preaches the gang rape of women.
I don't want to get into the...
He just done exactly what he was accusing that people in history, the white supremacists and whoever it is, to do to dehumanize a specific group so they can be attacked. You, my friend, just done the same thing by the lies of the grapes that never happened, by the babies that were beheaded that never happened. Your society, you are repeating the same rhetoric that is a lie, that's been proven to be a lie, and you are talking about in history how black individuals, whatever it is, they were used and false rumors were sent to act violence. So you are literally causing violence to happen indirectly. When you came and said, you know, there's conditions to freedom of speech. You know, if you are condoning violence or calling towards violence directly or indirectly, you, my friend, and your country that is stolen, Israel, yes, you guys are doing exactly the same thing to the Palestinians by dehumanizing them so the world can justify you committing a massacre. You moron. You're saying it with your own mouth. That's all I have to say, guys. I'm not going to carry on. Nothing else needs to be said. This guy's an absolute moron, for that matter. And that's all I'm going to say, brothers and sisters. You saw how he shot himself in his own foot. And again, Kanye West, what he said, I'm totally against it. This is against Islam. He has to act, call violence against a group of people. Yes? And there's many of them. Look, I don't agree with Piers Morgan. I don't agree totally with Meyron. There's some truths that he said here, not all. I don't agree, no way, with unholy Shmoley. So you can see the double standards, guys. That's all I wanted to bring to your attention. May Allah bless and preserve you guys. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.